us like 2 minutes to test the audio and make sure everything's up to par,
All good.
Alrighty.
See, the hardest working podcast in America, we taking that extra step,
Well, that's like what James was saying, is that, with COVID and everybody being, secluded, you can't go out and get large gatherings.
Right.
This is like our own little private house party, You have different friends, I have different friends, and we can kind of all bring them together and sit them far away on the couch. And
Sitting close.
yes.
Space, I am a little uncomfortable.
Where?
Just get that out of the way.
I still am.
Really? Okay. You're all getting those NBA rapid tests, getting the. That good. Just tell me a lie.
Yeah. Yes,
Makes
yes.
me feel better about this.
I should get like an A+ in like, I can't even think of now the word. What is it called? Not seclusion. What are you doing?
Isolation.
Yes, distancing.
Oh, so, yeah. So
Quarantine.
Quarantine. Yeah.
Like, I didn't go see anybody.
Yeah.
I couldn't see my kids. My daughter's a nurse.
Yeah.
She's a baby, so it was just,
Yep.
my younger daughter, I'm like, you're not allowed by anybody.
Exactly.
Just go.
A lot of stories like that. It's crazy. People with babies who are born in February, March. Nuts.
Yeah.
So, you guys know that there's
We all good over there, JB?
the angst. Well, what's up?
Yeah, no. Just testing the audio.
Okay.
Give me a sec.
Tell us one.
Are we like live test, or are we just like
We're
mic
live.
check, mic check?
We're live. Mic check.
Do the anchor read.
Awkward.
Like
Yeah.
2, 1, 2.
Anchor.
So, okay, I was telling you earlier, so 3 of my favorite James Cardis memories that won't go on the record, but in case we're live.
Are we live?
The first one was the Neotech ribbon cutting. We're getting ready to, remember that? We were getting ready to head over to the ribbon cutting, which must
Yeah.
have started at like 1:30 or whatever.
Broadway
Yeah.
in New York. In Billina, right? That
Yeah,
Yes.
the
building.
big
Okay.
building, yeah.
And so it's probably like, it starts at 1, the ribbon cutting's at 1:30. Here's James and I just kind of strolling outside, and Kurt comes by, and he's like, well, doesn't it start at like 1:30? And we just stop, and we're like immediately like 12 years old, and we just kind of moved back and stopped into our office, and like, okay, we'll just go back. Let's see, what was it? The second one was the Aurora Historical Society postcard collaboration
That was
we
cool,
did
yeah,
with
that was really
Invest
fun.
Aurora.
Yeah. I got a memory of that, I think.
Shop. A bookstore right there. I'm like, asking you shop.
There it is, right there for you.
Every time I go to Batavia now, I'm like, oh, there's
There
a
it is.
bookshop.
It's great.
I wonder if it's like the input in the camera.
I want to check out Batavia downtown sometime.
It's.
I've driven through it, but I've never like hung out.
quickly.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have
No,
another-
if you do, man, like, I'll be
about-
happy to show you.
Tour
around.
guide? Okay, there we go.
It's
There's
nice.
not, I mean, it'll take like half an
Well,
hour to
usually,
show you
like, those
everything.
little
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like farmer's market day.
Yeah,
It's a
farmer's
good-
market
it's
is
a good
perfect.
day because you
Tomorrow
close
morning.
the road.
Yeah.
There's good
They
samples
call
of
it a
everything.
Woonerf.
What's
It's
that?
a Woonerf. It's a Dutch name for a pedestrian walkway like they've got there. I don't know what
'Cause we
sets
need
apart from
this.
other types of pedestrian walkways, but they established it as such, like they basically bricked up the street and made it into something that was both accessible to cars and people. Now it's primarily people, it's blocked off because
Are we looking, gentlemen?
So audio just picking up from the camera right now. We can't like connect completely in because the adapters aren't, up to par.
Yeah, dude, we tried like every solution here.
What should we do? What's a workaround?
We just need to buy a new one.
Yeah. So we'll go back to the other
Are you
one.
putting the laptop in front of us here, like on the table?
No, we'll
Are we right there? Okay.
You get the desktop mic, right?
no, we got camera mic, but
Okay.
at this. So we'll go here and then we'll go live.
All right. Let's go live. We're running on CP time right now. People will be like, damn, what's is it good afternoon, Aurora? Or what the hell are you doing?
Yeah,
The time is now 11:31 a.m.
Hey man, that's morning for some.
Right, yeah.
And that's the
It
show.
used to be. I remember those days when
True.
it was morning for me. 11:30. Like, oh, I woke up before noon today. Cool. That's great.
What if we do have...
Says we're live.
Yeah, we are live and we got viewers, so
Can they hear us?
they can hear everyone, everything.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Y'all tuning in to the Wokest Podcast on Earth. Glad that you're all with us, and we will be going live officially here in just a few moments. Pour your coffee up and get your sip on and listen to the smooth sounds of cameras whirring my voice and computers puting. There's a place down in, is that, or maybe it's North Aurora still, and they take Broadway and then go right. I don't know if it is Batavia yet. You go right, and then when you go down, there's a barbecue joint with like huge bay doors down around there somewhere. I don't know if it's Batavia. I need to do some homework on that place, but it's
Do you
really
go Broadway
good.
right out of Aurora?
Yeah, take Broadway, just go north.
North.
Yep.
Bay Doors. Oh, at the end of 25,
Yes.
where it hits Batavia, right?
Right,
Where it
yeah.
hits like downtown Batavia?
Yeah, and it's kind of a, you gotta like go down a little bit, then around back there.
Yeah, you gotta like, to 25 jogs there. So
Okay.
you make a right. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
You make a right and then a left and
Yeah.
just stay on 25? That is Oak and Swine.
Oak and Swine.
That's what it is.
That's what it is. Yo.
Very good.
Very damn good.
We need to save that for an official question.
Oh,
like,
No,
you
it's
know.
okay.
Swine.
If people,
Okay,
if people
good.
can
Look
hear us,
out.
that's all you gotta know.
Whenever you're ready.
Can people hear us talking about Oak and Swine? It's very good.
So the audio should be, it's not, mic quality like that, but they can hear you. They can hear you pretty good.
Good. Well, we'll talk
Okay.
loud.
All right, ready?
That's what we'll do.
Good. Yep. Whenever you are ready.
All right, let's do this.
Rise and shine. Pour yourself a cup of coffee and tune in to Good Morning Aurora. News, weather, and really cool interviews. Monday through Friday from 8 to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. Good morning, Aurora. The time is now 8:10 a.m. and you are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast. We've been live for a few minutes now, so you're just hearing the intro part because we've been in here yakking and having a good time for it.
We're still working out some of those technical
Yeah, exactly.
details here.
Getting some technical difficulties ironed out. Today we're joined by James Cardis
Hello.
from Enjoy Aurora. Glad to have you on the show, sir.
Thanks for having me.
All right, good to see you.
Yeah.
Got my co-host Christine right here.
Good morning.
What's up? What's up, Hunter? Behind the boards, and we got JV over there.
What's going on?
Good to see you. All right, so we do have a little bit of a few updates for you guys, and then we're going to do a recap. So the updates can be very quick, and they are extremely important. We've been telling you guys that Kane County and Will County have been added to the watch list for COVID-19, and that's because there's a few things that have been happening. The new case rate and the death rate has increased. So for Will County, they're recording about 93 new COVID-19 cases per 100,000 people. And Kane County was reporting 105 per 100,000 people as well. For Will County, about 5.8 of emergency room visits are for COVID-19 like illnesses. The state agency target for counties is for that percentage to be decreasing or stable. Now that comes from the Illinois Department of Public Health, and you can check out their website, which is www.dph.illinois.gov/county-metrics to see that detail, or excuse me, those details. Now we have the meals for older adults, and that is today from 11 o'clock until 1 at the Kane County Judicial Center. That's brought to us by the Kane County Sheriff's Office and the Kane Senior Council. We've been telling you guys about this. You need to be a Kane County resident, and you also need to just bring like an ID or a piece of mail that shows you're a Kane County resident. For seniors 60 and up, you get 5 5 frozen meals. And yeah, there you go. Kane County Sheriff's Office. Shout out to Ron Hain. And our friends in Elgin Township, they have a food drive, and that's going on tomorrow from 2 of them, from 10 a.m. to 1, Settlers Park, Dundee and Slade, and Hans and Sons Incorporated, Kossuth Street, South Elgin, and then 1 p.m. to 4 p.m., Elgin Township, Wing Park, and Gale Borden Library. Shout out to Gale Borden Library. I know those people. They're pretty cool. All right, so those are the updates. Now we have to recap. We're going to chop it up.
What happened yesterday? That's all I want to know.
If it could go wrong, Murphy's Law. If anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. And it did yesterday. So yesterday you were on a Zoom call. You're doing your
I
thing
had a
with your
meeting.
board.
You
had a
knew I
meeting.
was not going to be here.
And we
right?
knew. So we did a casual Thursday with the boys. It was me, JV, Hunter, another friend, Steve came in. He's a photographer. And yeah, we're hanging and chilling, and everything's going wrong. The mic stopped micing. The cords stopped cording, and the shit just went haywire. And during it, it's one of those things we're sitting there. We're like, it's all because Christine's not here.
Meanwhile, Christine is at this meeting, and all of a sudden I see a text, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm looking at the time, like, what is it? And I'm like, it's like Buenos Dias, and I'm like, oh geez, this is not happening. So then I set the phone down. I'm like, I don't have time for this. My phone starts lighting up, and I'm like, I immediately turned into like every mom during COVID. I'm like, why are you guys calling me? You know I'm working. This had better be important. And I'm thinking, I'm like, is Hunter okay?
And he was okay.
He
And
was
everything.
okay.
Yeah, it was decided to just prank call her. Just say hi on the microphone. Just say hi on the air.
Right.
And it produced an interesting episode.
Yes, because then
Yesterday.
I heard you called me.
Yeah, we did.
Oh wait, no, I know you called me, but I heard my number was on the air.
Yeah, so it went to voicemail, and it detailed all of her number.
no.
Yeah, so we had to.
And it's live.
Yeah.
Did you pull it out of
We
the?
pulled it out.
Yeah.
We pulled it out, baby.
It's in edit mode now.
There you go.
And he had told me that, and I said, you're lucky if I answer my phone for people I know,
Totally.
rather than just
Yeah.
some
No,
I know.
Now it's
random.
bloopers.
Right.
So we're
Good
gonna
times, good
we're gonna
times.
get into our interview
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
So Christina's gonna kick it off.
All right, James.
Isn't there an anchor read? I was really excited about the anchor read.
The anchor read?
Anchor.
Anchor.
Right?
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
we got Anchor.
Yeah, the podcast.
Yeah.
I just really like the anchor read.
You used to do the anchor read.
Oh,
Still the anchor read.
I did. Well,
Don't you have that?
I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm
here's
kidding.
the-
he did call me out on that. He did call me out on that. So the show's we've gone through some permutations.
There you
though.
go. Okay.
We've gone through some
All right.
permutations.
All right. How do people get it if they're not watching it live?
If they're not watching it live, Spotify,
There you go. Okay.
Anchor, Apple, iTunes, and Google,
Yeah.
Overcast, and Breaker.
Everywhere.
Yep.
I'm subscribed. I
Good.
got it. Yeah.
Woke.
I suggest everybody else subscribe because it's
Thank
good.
you. Yes. Please subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel.
There you go.
Hey.
Yeah.
All right. So.
All right, I will save you.
I'm sorry for
That's great. I love it. Totally call him out.
Oh.
So James, tell us who you are and where you're from.
My name is James Cardis. I am from Northlake, Illinois, city of friendly people, just south of O'Hare Airport.
Very cool.
Yeah. Growing up, the thing that I like to tell people about Northlake is growing up, our discussions, like in-person conversation, was always interrupted every 2 minutes by airplanes passing over. Very low, very loud. And I actually just took a little nostalgic trip through town. Got hit really bad by the recent storms, by the tornado and everything else. So they were already missing a lot of trees, and they're missing even more now that there was a once a decade weather event that just occurred a couple weeks ago. So.
Okay, and tell us about your educational background.
Education. I have an obsolete degree. I just realized I have a fiction writing degree from Columbia College. They do not offer a fiction writing degree any longer.
It's
You can
unique.
get- It is.
Very
Yeah.
unique.
12th floor of the Torco building. So,
Nice.
yeah. And that's it. I don't have any other
Okay.
credentials.
And then what brought you to Aurora? When did you come here?
That's a long story.
Well, we're here. We got an hour.
Mhm. You got
So I'll try to do short version of the long story. I was with somebody for like 10 years, from the time that I was like 20 to 30, basically, and we lived primarily downtown in the city, but her parents lived on the east side in one of the subdivisions, Oakhurst, and so in 2012 she ended up getting like deathly ill, like really, really sick, and went to Rush Copley Hospital, and had to be close to home for basically that year and then on. And I always liked spending time with her parents in Aurora, you know, like and it's funny because our paths crossed with a lot of things that were happening, you know, let's say like 2010 on, that I didn't know about, you know. The Paramount Theater was really just starting up around there, you know, around that time in terms of doing the Broadway shows. I had no idea. I was like, what's this theater all about? You know, there's all these people down here. Two Brothers Roundhouse, we went there a lot. Completely missed First Fridays and all that stuff. I had no idea.
You're in your own little world, got a lot of
might-
stuff
yep,
going on,
exactly,
and just kind of living your life.
But even before that, yeah. And then, so I was in the city. I was doing all sorts of different things. I was like DJing and doing comedy and all this stuff, and decided that it was getting too difficult to split time because, you know, my ex-girlfriend is
Commuting,
like
yeah.
really sick. She's in Aurora. She's with her parents. I'm basically like spending every other night either in Aurora or in the city. And I decided at the time, is like, if I'm gonna decide to commit to living in the suburbs, I might as well buy a house, like, you know, build some equity, that sort of thing. And so found a house. It worked out really well. It was like kind of a fun summer of looking at like, you know, 50, 60 different houses up and down the river. Remember the first one we looked at was, I can't remember what who the designer is, but it's the house that's owned by Vower Design, Megan Paul, I believe.
Okay.
Didn't look at the house, just looked at the outside of it, and at this time didn't know how anything worked.
Very mid-century, that one.
Right,
yeah.
but I didn't know how like taxes worked or anything like that. And I was like, yeah, like you know, like whatever, I could probably afford this. I could not afford it.
Once you put the whole picture
Right,
of it,
right.
yeah.
So again, really long story, but you know, basically everybody tried to talk me out of buying a house. Still went and did it, and really glad I did because kind of boomerang back to it after a little bit of time in the city, and then since 2015 I've lived out here full time.
Yeah. It's great just to hear everybody's story of how they kind of found their self or who brought them here.
But yeah.
You know, to Aurora. Everybody has a different.
Yeah, it's a wild and winding path. I had no real connection to the area. Like I grew up, you know, in a Cowler suburb, but I spent a lot of time in Naperville, like in my high school years. Like I was in bands that played in Wheaton and, you know, DuPage County. There's a archive of all this stuff available on Bandcamp called DuPage County Hardcore.
Oh, we're gonna
if you ever want to hear, if you ever want to hear what children in the early aughts sounded like screaming at each other.
This would have been good to know pre-show.
Is that
You could have
true?
played a sample.
No, you don't want to do that. It's a little loud. But so I've always been kind of like in and around this area, but I just assumed I'd be like a Chicago person, you know, my whole life, and then just life brought me out here, and I ended up with the Aurora Area CVB, where I serve as the marketing director. Just kind of by a fluke. I was working at Allstate Insurance Company in the north suburbs. I was living in Batavia. My commute was unbearable, and the director at the time of Batavia Main Street, Jamie Sam, kind of just put the word in to my wife, who had owned a gift shop in Batavia at the time, that this would be maybe a good change. You know, like maybe hey, they're looking for a marketing director. Maybe James doesn't want to drive 90
You can
minutes
do that with that
one
degree
way.
that you have.
Yeah, well, right. Well, and I'd been in marketing already. I mean, I've now like 10 years into a career in marketing, and yeah, it just it worked out, and you know, like I got to learn a lot, and we kind of treated Batavia and this whole area, Aurora included, as like vacation life from the city, you know, prior to moving in full time, and would have friends out for, you know, bonfires and, you know, like just going around and seeing shows and stuff like that. And it's just like, we've already kind of like, this is at the time, you know, when I decided to take this job, like already looking at it as like, we're living in a vacation town. People, you know, who maybe are 4 or 5 generations deep out here don't see it that way because they're a little too close to it. But you've got this beautiful river, you've got these beautiful trails, like that alone. And then when you think about all the other amenities that we've got out here in terms of things to see and do, it sells itself. And that's...
We're going to dig a little deeper into that.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, I was trying to transition forward.
Yeah,
I was like, how do I get out of this story into
Mr.
the
Segue.
topic?
Yeah.
Growing up, what impact did your mom have on your life?
Oh my goodness, I was waiting for this. And
I was going to let you start that issue. I'm like, he's trying to go.
I'm gonna try and do this without crying. My mom is the best combination of kind and strong, and just she's the best person. Like, I'm a total mama's boy. She raised me and my kid sister basically on our own, you know, with the help of her parents and also my dad's grandparents. But you know, my parents split when I was young. My mom's had a lot of hard times in her life, but she's a saint. Like, she's great. Everybody should know my mom. She's the best person. I love to make her laugh, and the most recent time I was thinking about this on the way here, we were on the phone, and she, I don't even know how it came up. She was just asking us, like, are you guys gonna watch like DNC, whatever, blah blah, and she said Kamala Harris's name, and I told my mom, like, think about your graduating class from West Leiden High School in 1970, whatever. You're probably the only person of that class that can actually pronounce this woman's name correctly. Like, it's you know, I don't know. She's a very sensitive, kind, and caring person, and she's had a lot of struggle, and she's always been, you know, somebody I've you know, turned to. You know, before I got married, she was the person I turned to, and you know, just for advice and that sort of thing, and really helped me be the person I am today. So
nice.
yeah.
Shout out to James' mom, because she didn't give James
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Thank you.
Live claps.
There you
Live
go.
claps.
Barb Cardis gets her flowers.
Yeah. Very cool. So tell us about the Aurora Area CVB.
Sure. It is the destination marketing organization for the area. So our executive director, Court Carlson, was actually on with State Rep Stephanie Kifuit recently, and he made this point that I thought about making today, is that Convention and Visitors Bureau is kind of an antiquated term, and it especially doesn't make sense for us because we don't have a convention center. Like, hopefully we do at some point. Yeah. But as I recall, or you know, as I've been told, because I'm new to the industry, this industry began sometime in the late 80s, I want to say 87. The Aurora Area CVB celebrated its 30th anniversary in 2017 or 2018 with a proclamation from, you know, the mayors of the original communities. It was Aurora, North Aurora, Montgomery, and Sugar Grove. So it started with those 4 communities. Now we service 10 communities up and down the river, in order, alphabetically, for everybody who's interested.
Wow. Okay, here we go.
Do it.
Aurora, Batavia, Big Rock, Hinckley, Montgomery, North Aurora, Oswego, Plano, Sugar Grove, last but not least, Yorkville.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 communities, really big service area. We're primarily funded by the lodging and bed tax that's collected at the hotels, and also state grants that go to tourism and promotion. For, you know, there's 39 other CVBs, I think, credited CVBs in the state of Illinois. So
yeah, Convention and Visitors Bureau. It does, like you said, the term evokes sort of a 1930 World Exposition Fair. But that wasn't the 30s, but you know, the big tent kind of thing. Convention, step right up, step right up. Now, how have you guys been? affected, or what changes have you made during our COVID era?
A lot. So, right now, think about this is the biggest impact. This is when I'm typically in the planning stages,
Right.
or like just about to start executing on promotions for the Broadway series at the Paramount Theater
Right.
and the one night only events that occur throughout the year. So, a lot of our fall, winter, and into spring promotions were, on the marketing side, were primarily centered around the Paramount Theater. You get into some seasonal stuff. We've got some good agritourism, and we'll still promote that.
Right.
Because a lot of it is available. Like you can go to Abbey Farms, for example. That's a great place to go, and take the kids, that sort of thing. So some of it's the same, but the big chunks that are missing make it really difficult. On the sales side, our sales director, Pete Garlock, works on the sports events primarily out at Stewart Sports Complex, but we've also got other venues in the area too that make great indoor destinations, for volleyball, basketball, that sort of thing. All that stuff's basically on hold, but he's really busy working on future events, bringing events back that maybe had booked or had already executed here in the area and want to return. So it's a lot of, I would say, relationship management, being out in the community, that sort of thing, making sure that our sales contacts are, still planning on coming back and returning. Group tours, the same thing. We've got a group sales coordinator, Lisa Wisner, who, had some bus groups and some, like a conference of tour directors coming in.
Right.
Kind of on hold, postponed, but we're still making constant contact with those people. And then on the marketing side, we're just trying to promote everything that is happening and is available, including things like the dining. Like we have such great restaurants that are kind of powering through this and being creative, in terms of getting people into town. It's not what it was, but we're trending in the right direction, things that we see on our end in terms of how the hotels are doing. They're ultimately our clients.
And you guys are located in the same building as the Chamber,
Yep.
which is
It's 43 West Galena.
right, 43 West Galena.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Had been passing by that window for a long time and
Yeah.
seeing, CVB, like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. I think, credit to the folks who are in the leadership positions and in those organizations.
Mm-hmm.
So Court Carlson, our executive director, Jessica Linder Gallo at the Regional Chamber of Commerce, and now Brian Gay, who's at the Aurora organization. They're all, I would say, they're all doing such a better job than maybe has been done in the past. I don't
Sure.
know, of getting the word out about what they do and what their value, what the value of those organizations are to the community. Because it's important that people kind of understand, what we're all doing on behalf of the communities that we serve, and how some of like what we do, affects small business owners in town. We bring in visitors, and those visitors, even if they're here for a wedding or a corporate event or something like that, they're going to get gas. They're going to, do a little bit of shopping. They're going to do some dining in town. They're going to have to, and they're probably going to be excited to once they see our collateral. So
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, hang out on the patio balcony or something.
There you go,
like
exactly.
That, A little lemon wedge in your water. We got it. We got that
Yeah,
for you.
right.
Awesome.
Yeah, you know of all the places because I know you guys have done a great job kind of pivoting over to online, different maps,
Yeah.
different resources that are available
Mhm.
to people. This is a tough question, what are
Sure.
some of your favorite places?
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'll give you a couple. So down in Yorkville, one of my favorite places in the area is the Law Office Pub and Music Hall.
Yeah.
I gotta go.
It's a great little concert venue. It's like, if you've ever been to like a Fitzgerald's or even like a Shuba's in the city, like it's got that kind of vibe in terms of who they book and how they do things. It's very, it's very chill and just good people and good music and good beer. They're doing some things outside right now because they're located in downtown Yorkville, and you've got a bunch of different restaurants right there too, and so they're kind of doing some indoor outdoor type of concerts and putting them live on Facebook and stuff like that. So they're adjusting just like everybody else. In Oswego, I really like Oswego Brewing Company. They make really good beer, really good beer, and their location is just really great. And you know, one of my favorite kayak trips. I do a lot of kayaking. I mean, of all the destinations in the area, I mean, the Fox River is really my number one favorite that I engage with on a constant basis. One of my favorite trips is to just do Oswego to Yorkville. You can start with a beer at Oswego Brewing Company, and get on the river, and then stop in Yorkville and have a barbecue on the back patio at South Bank Original Barbecue. That's
You know what? I'm
sold.
That was going to be one of my questions. Plans for the weekend, like where's the
There you
best
go.
place to
Yeah.
launch at? Okay.
Yeah.
need to be hanging with James.
In the
Cardis. Yeah. My friends, I'm looking at my friends list like, you know, ain't none of these brothers doing none of that.
Cardis, we'll get you on the
Yeah.
river.
Yeah,
Whenever,
man.
whenever you want, man.
Tired of playing dominoes every Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, I can keep going. You know, like, you know, you'd have to stop me at a certain point.
Exactly, yeah. There's
You
so
know,
much
and
to
that doesn't
do.
even touch on Batavia. Like, I live in Batavia. It doesn't touch on Aurora. I mean, there's just so much. You know, we this week we put out a bunch of content about there's 3 new Mexican restaurants, like kind of upscale, like modern takes on Mexican cuisine. And I'm just, my mouth's watering, like looking at all these pictures that I'm going through to, you know, figure out our promotions and everything. And so, yeah, it's a fun gig, and it's, you know, a lot of it is just a lot of what I do in the, you know, it's just stuff I'd be doing anyway. You know, I'd be taking pictures of places. I'd be, you know, like talking to business owners and that sort of thing. So it's just, it's a nice transition into, you know, between personal and professional life, because I enjoy going out and treating this place like it's a vacation town, you know, because that's how it feels to me. It's a vacation from the city and everything else. So we just had friends out. We didn't even really see them while they were here, but they came out. They're Chicagoans. They have an annual theater retreat. They do it in different cities, you know, all throughout the year. They rented a house near ours on the river for their retreat. And, you know, they just did what they had to do professionally, personally, and they were limited. You know, I think they were going to do it in Seattle or something like that this year, but they had reached out and wanted to know where to go. And we said, you be our neighbors for a couple days, right? So
Enjoy it.
Yeah. Here's an observation I have to make.
Sure.
You did comedy
Yeah.
at one point in time.
Well, at one point in time.
You were in a band.
Yep.
You seem to have a streak of good-natured Americanism that just flows through you.
It's amazing. Okay.
It's just an observation. You know what I mean? Like you bring with you, and I know this is about you when we had that coffee that morning.
Sure. Yeah.
What you bring besides the professionalism in doing your job, marketing on behalf of the organization, what you bring to you is a personability, and I like that. So here's a question for you: what is America to you?
Ooh, wow. Wow.
Let me plan more as I hear this conversation.
Yeah.
I say that because I
know.
really do like how you can transition from looking at the menu, which we'll have to start marketing, of Mexican restaurants and their food,
Totally.
riding kayaks and having a beer.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So what is America to you?
Yeah. I mean, so this is very trite, but it is. It's a lot of things. You know, I am somebody who's steeped in not necessarily academic history, but somebody who's always kept up with like current events and tried to, you know, form my own analysis of what this country is to me and to other people. You know, it's a landmass.
Right.
And we make of it what we make of it.
Right.
You know, right now it's a different place than it was 10 years ago and 10 years before that. And, you know, I firmly believe this personally, and I believe this about everything and everyone else, that, you know, this moment is really all we have.
Right.
You know, so you know, you've heard that phrase, or if you haven't, I'll just say it. You know, tradition is peer pressure from dead people, right? So have you heard
Wow.
that? So you know, and I'm not saying that all traditions are invalid. You know, like there's certain things, but the way that, you know, the way that I look at most things is, what is it now? What is it today? What, you know, who are you today? You know, and I try to look at myself the same way. So I just try to be consistent with that.
Yeah. It shows. You're a person who's doing your own thing. You're highlighting, I feel, the best of Aurora, but other cities, by living it. And I really like that. I'd heard about the law office, and I've been seeing it in a little bit of pictures. I'm like, oh, it's kind of fly. I'm like, you know. And then here you are talking about it. So like, and just knowing you and the things you're into, like that, you know, I'm sold on it. You know, I'm gonna go check it out.
That's awesome. Yeah, and I'm happy to take you if you want to go.
Yeah.
But
Going there with James Cardis.
There-
Like, yeah, I'm gonna do it.
but here's the thing, you know, like, and I think it is important. Like, yeah, I try to be, you know, and I never want to put my face like in like front of the camera for the CVB.
Right.
It's not about that. Like, it's more editorially what we choose to feature. But I also have to, like, I don't have kids. I've, you know, parents with kids are a big part of our audience, you know, in now and in the quote unquote before time, you know, before all this hit. So, you know, I've got to kind of, you know, be pretty open-minded to what other people are going to be into as well.
Right.
Adapt to be family friendly.
Right. And understand it, and then by understanding it, be able to promote it. So, you know, it's not just about me. It's not just about what I'm into. Like, there is that editorial influence, and there is that sort of finding the sort of hidden gems that might not be the more obvious.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's always a part of it. Yeah.
Right. But, you know, the makeup of the people who come here as a visitor is just as diverse as, you know, the people who live here.
Right.
So, you know, it can't just be my point of view.
It's kind of a reoccurring theme. Every time we ask somebody, what do you like best about Aurora, or what's one of our strengths?
Yeah.
It's the diversity. And if you look around this room, there are various age, gender, race, ethnicities,
Yep.
and nobody really cares.
Right.
But, you know, we're all just trying to, you know, live our lives and, you know, live in a great community. And what do we need to do to get there? So you do offer a lot of those things for us.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah, I like what we do as a city. So one of my next questions for you is that what are some of the strongest changes that you've seen take place in the last 5 years here in Aurora?
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's a good question because tomorrow will be my 4-year anniversary from day one on the job at CVB.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I, you know, just the fact that there's, you know, when you're in the office, there's so many places to get lunch or coffee or whatever. Like, you're really spoiled for choice in downtown right now in terms of things to do. And that wasn't true 4 years ago, for real.
Right.
There was, you know, just not as many options. And I think that what's been cool in how downtown especially is developed is that it's just growing the pie. You know, it's not like more options or means more slices means less opportunity. It's that you've got 4 coffee shops, guess what? There's 4 times as many people coming to coffee shops now in downtown Aurora as there were 4 years ago.
Right.
So that, I think, to me, has been one of the coolest things. And I think over the next, you know, I'll just call it another 4 years because that's the timeline I'm using. All these developments that are currently being worked on are going to be whatever they're going to be. And that's going to be really interesting and totally different from what it is today.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I think that, and just I can't wait to see this bridge complete. You know, it's such a symbolic. It's you know, like it's a little hokey, but it is. It's like pretty symbolic and interesting to me that, you know, you've got this beautiful like walkway that's going to connect, you know, the different sides of the river in a way that's, you know, really pedestrian oriented. It's not just about like getting cars across, as
Yeah.
quickly as you can. It's about slowing down and enjoying the river, but also functionally like connecting the two sides of the river for pedestrian traffic into the city,
Yeah.
in and out of the city. I think that's going to be really
Now
cool.
you can walk over to Jake's Bagels,
Yeah, oh my
easily.
goodness,
Whereas
yeah.
now it's like,
yeah,
oh,
now
you
you've got to
drive
go
all the way
right,
around.
exactly. You need to paddle
Oh, yeah,
across.
for cars? Cars will be able to.
No cars, yeah,
Okay,
pedestrian.
all
Yeah,
right.
you'll be able to walk across.
Yeah, I want to ride bikes with my son across the bridge and chill.
Yeah.
I want to stand there with my coffee
Yeah.
right when the sun's coming up and do an Instagram from there.
Yeah.
Shout out to Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted all that stuff. And
Yeah.
when you see it happening too, it's
Yeah.
nice that it's being built. It does have a symbolism and a presence
Yeah.
that's connecting,
Right.
And if in the future when the not Paramount,
River's
Dunham
Edge.
Pavilion, River's
Yeah.
Edge,
Yeah, yeah.
when that opens back up,
Yep.
I mean, just all the folks taking a walk going to see the show,
Yeah.
standing on the bridge for the fireworks,
Yeah.
man, it's gonna be nice.
It's
yeah.
gonna be really cool.
Get your lawn chair on the bridge, chill out.
That's,
Yeah,
yep.
And again, we're all about history on the show, so we'll
Sure.
look at like different, events of bridges
Yeah.
that were built like way back when, and
Yeah.
we're going to be part of this pedestrian bridge and be like, I remember when they were building
Right.
that.
Oh my God, yeah.
Now
Can
the
you-
pictures I
how-
have with
Those
no
old
bridge
people.
are gonna
How
be there.
insufferable
Yeah.
will we be at like 80 years old? Like, oh, I remember.
We just had to walk all the way around in the snow.
Right, exactly.
That's back when the COVID.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep,
Y'all
yep.
don't know about the
Yeah.
COVID.
Yeah. That's all we're going to talk about for the rest of our
Yeah.
lives, too.
So the time is now 8:43 a.m. You are listening to Good Morning Aurora, the second largest city's first daily news podcast, and we're sitting down with James Cardis of Enjoy Aurora. Now you guys have a publication
We do.
as well.
The
Talk
Aurora
about that.
Area Go Guide. It's the official visitors publication of the Aurora Area CVB. Now available in print and online at
Very nice.
enjoyaurora.com.
Right.
Yeah.
Hell
And
yeah.
you were like the secret elf that delivers them to all of these locations.
We all get involved. Court's done some deliveries too. I mean, like everybody gets involved in getting those things out. And right now, we are mailing them out weekly, so people are still interested in getting this information, which is great. And like a lot of our leads that are coming in, like they're split between locals, and sometimes people even tell us like if they're requesting a visitor's guide from us, they might be somebody who just moved to town. So it's a great resource for those people too. But we put them out at all the hot spots in town and make sure that they go and not stay in our office. Make sure that they go.
Right.
I
out to
saw
the
that
people.
delivery once, and
So-
it's just like packed. It's like massive. You
Oh,
can't even
yeah.
walk in. It was just boxes and
It's
boxes
crazy,
of
yeah.
guides.
We do
Lots of trees
40,000 a
built.
year, and we try to get through them all before we do the next one. And it's not just in town or via leads. We also put them out at the DeKalb Oasis. We restock that about quarterly with 20 to 25 cases at a time. So that's how many. I'm not doing math right now, but we put them out there. We put them out through a distribution agreement we have with the Department of Transportation. They operate all the welcome centers, so
Right.
they'll request guides from us as well, when they start running out. And our newest guide, I think it's our best yet, and it's really unfortunate timing based on how some of the things that are featured in there are not currently available, but it's not about direct response. It's about inspiring people to travel here.
Right.
Whether they do that this weekend or next year, as long as they do.
Let them know what's
Yeah,
happening.
exactly.
What's happening.
It's always gonna be. Tell us about Farnsworth House.
Yeah, but no, that would have been my next on the list of favorite places. The first time I went there, I was a little bit stressed out going in, and I was just perfectly like washed of any concern for anything
I
when
have
I
not
left.
been
It's
there.
just such a
I floated by, so tell people, what is Farnsworth House?
Farnsworth House. My goodness. So there's a book out right now that you can get. It's I can't remember the title off the top of my head.
Tracy Duran? Oh, no, this.
Yeah.
What's the book on Farnsworth House?
Tracy Duran.
Calling Tracy Duran.
Calling
Yeah.
Tracy Duran.
Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't come with all my facts and figures, so this is going to be a little bit of a half-remembered. But there's a book available now. I've yet to read it, but I did order a copy, and I have it at the house. There is a staged reading of that book coming up
Oh,
September 12th, I think. Look it up. It'll be on our website if it's not already. And I believe that stage reading is at the Farnsworth House. I could be wrong about that, but
And it's in Plano.
It's in Plano. It's so what is it? Let's start there. That's what you asked me. It's an American icon in 2 words. Like, it really is. It's just this piece of architecture designed by Mies van der Rohe, who's a famous architect. He's done, he had done quite a few buildings and residences in Chicago and around the world. But it is like the most minimal structure for a domestic living situation that you could possibly find. It's beams and glass, and that's it, and travertine on the patio to get you up to the house. The way it's been described is it looks like it's floating above the river. It looks like some people call it the spaceship. It's set in these really beautiful grounds right on the Fox River, which unfortunately leads to flooding and other issues for the house. But the focus of the Farnsworth House program this year is long overdue, but really welcome. It's a focus on its owner, Dr. Edith Farnsworth. She was, think about this. She commissioned the house in the late 40s. It was built, I think it was like officially built and ready to hand off in either 1950 or 51. And so how did this woman, a spinster, not to use, I'm sure that's a slur, but I'm sorry. But it's, she was a nephrologist, she was a kidney doctor. She was a translator into many different languages, apparently like Italian and French.
Yeah.
A translator of poetry, a poet herself, pretty accomplished. A violinist. She taught local kids all sorts of different.
I'm showing them pictures of Farnsworth House.
Oh, okay. All right. There's just a lot. There's like a lot of
talking. He's like, hello,
activity.
anybody?
Yeah. Anyway, she's a really remarkable woman, and they did focus their program this year on her and her impact and how she dressed the house.
Yeah.
So her furniture, her style, all that sort of thing, which is a little bit different from how it had appeared, to visitors over the last 20 years or so. It's more like that ultra modern Barcelona chairs, that sort of thing.
Right.
So yeah, it's just a great space. They're doing a lot more in terms of events. You can bring your dog there to bring Fido Day, which is coming up soon.
Very cool.
Yeah, they're just trying to get people to engage with the land as much as the building, and to do it at a less of a cost. You can go picnic there now, and it's like $5-10, whatever it is,
That
as
is
opposed
awesome.
to buying a full tour.
And it's in Plano.
Plano.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Tracy Duran came through. The
Oh.
name of the book is Broken Glass
There you go.
by Alex Bean.
That's
Yo,
perfect.
shout out to Tracy
Thank
Duran.
you, thank you, Tracy Duran.
And if I'm not mistaken, you can buy it directly from
From the
Farnsworth
Farnsworth
House.
House, yep.
So we always encourage you to shop
Yep.
local. So
Yep.
if you want to buy the book,
Yeah,
talk to Farnsworth House first, check it out,
yeah,
before you go anywhere else.
that's great. It's
Yeah, I'm
broken
glad,
glass.
I'm glad we found out that it's in Plano. I was just gonna go to like Farnsworth Avenue, just right there by Aldi, right there. This house. Were they
That's
selling tamales out the basement?
That's a Farnsworth.
Yeah.
Not the Farnsworth.
Not the Farnsworth.
I might go there this weekend, I think.
God, that's awesome.
You should, and look up their schedule of events, because they do have a lot of cool stuff coming out. For the holidays, they do cocktail parties, which is new. Like even when I joined the CVB, they were very much more a museum, or even less, because a museum has events. They were more of a preservation focus, as recently as 4 years ago. But their new executive director and the new team they have there that is focused on the events and that sort of thing, they're doing a really good job of community outreach and kind of getting people, because for the longest time nobody knew what it was, even like especially locally. Like
Right.
I didn't know
people
that, yeah.
travel from all around the world to come see it, And yet, if you live in Yorkville, Plano, chances are you're just like, oh yeah, that's that thing. I don't know.
You're going
down the
fishing
river,
and
right?
you see,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
see this
right.
house. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's great.
Interesting. So the time is 8:52 a.m.
Wow.
You're listening to Good Morning Aurora, and we're sitting down with James Cardis. What does the Aurora Area CVB have coming up?
You know, I mean, right now we're just trucking along.
Right.
You know, we are really just focused on getting the word out about what is available here, both in terms of what's open now, like what you can experience, and then planning for the future and trying to get people interested and excited about what's going to be open eventually.
Right.
This would have been the 10th anniversary of the Broadway series at Paramount Theater.
Oh, man.
And, you know, so we had worked with Jay Kelly, who I think was in here.
Yeah, shout out to Jay.
Shout out to Jay.
Kelly.
Yeah, the best.
Friend
best
of
guy.
the
Yep.
show. Big dog.
Yeah. He, you know, we worked on, you know, pitching that, you know, as a story,
Right.
and it's not happening. So, but next year it will, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, kind of keeping our eye on the future, but also on the short term. How can we best, you know, service the businesses and attractions that really make this a great tourism destination? You know, making sure that they've still got people coming through their doors, while also, you know, bridging into the future. So
Right.
it's, yeah.
Right, we're always trying to attract that crowd. You don't have to go to Chicago. You can come right here.
Exactly.
And
Yeah.
get it
Right.
all
And
for a lot cheaper and a lot better people.
that's well.
I'll go there.
That's fine. I'm gonna let you have that one. But no, and I think that areas like ours will be among the first to bounce back when people start thinking about travel again.
Yeah.
You know, in a serious way, because you know, I think it's going to be a while for international travel, even when restrictions are lifted and like the COVID situation kind of dies down. I think there's still going to be a little bit of uncertainty. There will always be an audience for cruise ships, apparently, because there was, I don't know if you heard, but there was a cruise ship that launched and got, like, they all got COVID, like, a month ago.
Yeah.
A month ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, some of those, there's always going to be a segment, and that's how I think of things in terms of marketing. Like, there's always going to be segments that want to do those things, but the broader, you know, all the research and all the data we're seeing, you know, from the people who think about this stuff and actually survey and poll, is that people are going to be more comfortable with road trips. They're comfortable with them now, but even when things kind of start lifting, there's going to be that period of uncertainty that should really benefit this area and others like it.
Yeah, I think Aurora is well placed.
Oh yeah.
To reap the benefits of that consumer confidence
Yep.
when it starts getting stronger.
100%.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Because we've been doing it in a strong way. We haven't had any boat rallies up and down the Fox.
Right.
We haven't been having those kind of super spreader attractive
Right.
incidents.
Right.
Everything has been, people complained about it. It's
Yeah.
been squared away, followed all the rules and everything, so to speak.
Yeah.
Glad for that.
Yeah.
So now the show, we like to end the show on a positive note.
Sure.
So we will let you take us and Good Morning Aurora to the weekend with positivity and a good
Okay.
message. What should our residents be thinking about? What should they do? Check out. How should they be feeling going into the weekend?
Man, so this is great. Jen, I listened to Jen's episode, and I really liked what she had to say. Get organized, and I was waiting for her to say, you know, like, she was talking about just getting organized, and I just love the spirit of that.
Yeah.
For me, because like her, she was in the middle of trying to get organized herself. I'm in the middle of just trying to treat myself well for a couple days. You know, like, this is a day off for me. And going into the weekend, I'm just trying to be good to myself and be good. You know, if you're good to yourself, you're going to be better able to be good to the people around you.
Yeah.
So
Good
that's
point.
think about
Good
that.
point.
What about you? What you
Yeah,
think?
no, I have to agree with James there. I think, you had said that you just took 2 days off,
Mhm.
just kind of like self-care, just like get
Yep.
it together days.
Yep.
And I think we don't do that enough.
Right.
Again, you're always trying to juggle a billion things,
Yeah.
whether, you're a parent or you're a professional.
Mhm.
Just kind of take that time to just step back and be like, you know what? I just need to get it together.
Yeah. What do I need right now? You know, like, that's, ask yourself that, and how's that gonna help you? I mean,
Yeah,
it's really,
it's a powerful question, because a lot of times when you think about, what do I need right now, It's not money. Like, I'm thinking about what I need. I need to like eat. I just need like some peace and calm in the mind and everything like that, and get things squared away. Got those I's and cross those T's and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I think that, to piggyback off what you said, treat yourself right, because if you treat yourself good, you'll treat other people better. Be nice, positive, and motivated, you know.
Yeah.
I'd like to tell people to be safe going into the weekend, to make sure that they stay away from some of the large gatherings that the Kane County Health Department has told us about.
Yeah. That's important.
Take part in the meal distribution for the seniors if they can. If you know seniors who need the help, or if you know seniors who need a ride, reach out to the ride service that the Kane County Sheriff's Office provides. And just stay positive and stay good. Check out what is able to be checked out in downtown Aurora this weekend. And
can I shout out a couple events?
oh, brother,
Yeah. All right.
do your thing.
So this weekend, I think it's Sunday, the City of Lights Ukulele Festival, which has successfully occurred the last 2 years, will now be online. So check that out. There's a suggested donation of about $10, but give what you can. Tune in. Just put it out. You know what I do with those live events? Like, just put it on a speaker outside and do whatever else you're doing. You don't have to be watching it the whole time. You know, just
Background music.
Background, right. Monday through Sunday of next week, there's a partnership between a bunch of really cool shops here in Aurora, in Batavia, and in Geneva called Compendium. Here in Aurora, Cottonseed Creative Exchange, Wickwood House, Branch Gardens. There might be one more, and I can't think of it. But in Batavia, Hearth and Hammer General, Ruby Jane. There's another shop. It's all online. It's on our website.
And what's
Check
it called
out.
again?
Compendium, it's called, and it's a collaboration where basically they're all gonna make available whatever is most comfortable for you as a shopper. So if you want to do online ordering, they're going to do online ordering. If you want to do curbside, they'll do curbside. And if you want to do an in-person shopping, they can do it by appointment. And you can win $150, is my understanding, if you post on Instagram from one of those shops and use I think the hashtag, whatever the hashtag is, check it out. It's on Instagram. Yeah, I think it's like Compendium HH or something like that. But check that out. Really cool, like, opportunity to kind of see what's going on the retail side of things, especially with these really cool shops that have sprung up, up and down the river. I think half of those businesses didn't exist a year ago.
Right.
Yes.
It's crazy, right?
They did not.
Keep them going. So
yeah.
It's kind of like our own little retail road shop. We were just talking about like road trips.
Yep. Just up and down the Fox River, up and down 31, 25, whatever.
Yeah, Naperville has the River Walk, and they got a couple of little bars, restaurants, yada yada.
Yeah.
We got shops.
There you go.
Up and down the Fox.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fresh.
Yeah.
That's fresh.
Yeah.
What else?
Alley Art Festival.
Alley Art.
Which I think you'll be talking
coming up
about a lot next week. But it's next weekend, not this weekend. And that's going to be really cool too. That'll be a mix of indoor, outdoor, and just a great event. And I've seen posters for that, from the archive or whatever, like from the 70s, right? That's when it started. I don't know the exact history of it, but I know that it's a long time thing here in Aurora. Is my impression, my understanding of it. So.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't mention all the work that you do with Aurora Downtown. You kind of pull your marketing skills into that, so you really do support our downtown as well. So thank you.
I appreciate that. Yeah, where I can. I'm on the marketing committee, but I do what I can. That's all.
That's all we can do. That's all anybody can do.
Well,
is do what you can.
You do a good job doing it.
Thank you.
You do, man. You do a good job doing it, and we're glad to have a chance to sit down and learn more about what you got going on today. And in regards to the events, again, Compendium and the Alley Arts Festival, which is coming up next week. Right? Okay. That's awesome. So the time is now 9:01. We hope that you enjoyed this episode of Good Morning Aurora with James Cardis. We really did enjoy speaking with him. Have a safe, blessed, powerful, and motivating weekend, and we will see you guys back here Monday morning on the second largest city's first daily news podcast, Good Morning Aurora. And with that, we out. Peace.
That's great.
Woo!